FMS literally just keeps blowing me away, and that is a factual statement on this channel. You guys know I'm a fan of the FCX24. You guys should definitely know I'm a fan of the FCX18. Can't get enough of that truck. And now we have the FCX24M. This guy right here is definitely the cutest little RC vehicle I've ever seen. The first thing that you're going to notice, especially with the D90, is that it is small. I think that FMS sought to make a more 24th scale FCX24 when they made these. The body looks really good. It has a lot of nice detail on it. A lot of things are molded or plastic where they could have been stickers, like the vents here, all the little lights and pieces here. Well, that's a sticker, but everything on it is nicely molded or painted, looking really good. Like the fuel tank area, I like that. That could have just been yellow and people would have still liked it. The taillights look really good. Just nice detail here. This spare tire does come with it. It just doesn't come installed. You have to pop it on yourself. It's got a full interior in there. Even got the back seats. There's a dashboard in there. I don't know how well this will show on the camera, but the interior does look really nice. The mirrors are reflective, which is always a nice touch. It's got this little basket on top with nothing in it. It's got this like grill guard bumper thing. It's very flexible. This Land Rover emblem here is actually a raised plastic piece, and it looks really nice. Obviously there's a sticker over top, but it is a nice raised plastic piece there. This yellow, at least from what I'm seeing on my camera, it looks a lot more vibrant, but it's really, really a way more like sandy, darker yellow color. Just for some reason through the camera, it looks very bright and like pretty, where it's actually kind of sandy and dark. So the body is held on with a hinge in the back and a Velcro strip in the front that just holds it down. The Velcro is attached to this little body mount looking thing. I'm sure it would be really easy to get some magnets on there and make that work if you wanted, but the Velcro seems like it's pretty strong. I don't think we'll have any issues with that. So as far as electronics go, we have the standard FMS fare here. We've just got the 2-in-1 ESC speed control. Here is the battery tray, and it is quite spacious, which I thought was really cool, especially for people who have more than one type of battery. I felt like with the FCX24, like you could get other batteries in there in the stock configuration, but you really needed that small battery most of the time. But this one here is big enough to where you can fit this 900 milliamp FMS battery in there, which means you can actually fit most of the standard-ish sized batteries in these that go in these smaller crawlers. Now, the only downside to having such a big battery in the back there is that this battery is a little heavier and it's in the back and it's kind of high up, so there will be a little bit of a performance decrease. But since this is kind of a scale rig, a little bit less performance oriented, I think that's okay. They did retain the 2-speed transmission, as you can see by the servo right here. I think that's really awesome. I've always enjoyed how versatile the FCX24 and 18 series can be with a 2-speed. The ability to pop it into low gear for crawling and then high gear for the rest of the trail has always been really, really nice for me. As far as lights go, it only has the headlights. Which is fine, actually. And it comes with a hidden bonus that there is no blinkers to be going nuts every time you turn left or right. The headlights are a nice amber color. It looks really good. It looks correct on there, so I'm happy with that. Another big change from the original FCX24 is the axles. They are different and they do not have portals. So you will have a little bit less ground clearance there. In the back here we have this metal dog bone, and in the front we have this more typical plastic drive shaft. I kind of wish that they were both the same material or the same thing, but honestly, as long as it works, this doesn't really bother me at all. It's got plastic links on there, and we now have a metal chassis that has the branding on it, similar to how the FCX18 would say FCX18. This says FCX24M. These little tiny shocks are oil filled, which I thought was pretty cool. There is some dampening there. Apparently these wheels are less than 1 inch. I think they're 0.9, but they also have a 0.8. I think that a 1-inch wheel with a smaller tire will work just fine on here, but just so you know, your 1-inch tires won't really fit very well on here. I tried already and they didn't sit on there that great. I think we've covered all of the main differences. Like, this is an entirely new rig. That is for sure. It's completely different than the FCX24. Here's a quick size comparison with the FCX24M and the K5 Blazer. If it wasn't so wide, it would fit right in the bed of the FCX18. So I spent hours on the trail with the little D90 here, and I do have some thoughts. First, it's fun. I had a really good time. I do think it's important, though, that we take things like the size into perspective here when we're talking about the performance, because it is limited in performance because of the size and honestly just the general lightness of it. It's very lightweight, very small. And because of that, you know, little small things that I would typically would just probably run over with like an 18th scale or a larger 24 scale, easily disrupted this little chassis and would roll it over or do things like that. But do keep in mind, you know, like when you look at it, it's it's tall, it's pretty narrow as far as width goes, and it's super lightweight. And it's, like I said, it's small. So with that, there's kind of a sliding scale as far as performance goes. The bigger you get, generally, the bigger stuff you can handle. But what was fun about it was that smaller obstacles on the trail that I would typically just run over were actually like fun little challenging kind of things to deal with the D90. I only had to pick it up one time on the trail. It was just a challenging part for any of my rigs, and this one just wasn't going to be able to do it. It couldn't climb what I needed it to, but that's okay. I literally had to pick it up and move it over a route that is slowly but getting worse. Eventually, it will erode away to a point where none of my rigs can get over it. But overall, I will say that I had a lot of fun. I had more fun than I usually do when I'm out at the trails, which is a good thing to say. And I think the limited capability of it is what made it like that. I had to be a lot more thoughtful about all the decisions I made and all the lines I decided to try and take to get from one point to the other. Like I said, I was out there for hours on just the two. So I have two of the 380 milliamp packs, and I also brought the 900 milliamp pack just for fun. The 900 milliamp pack exacerbated the issues like I thought it would. So climbing definitely wasn't any better, and it rolled over even easier with the 900 milliamp pack in there. But with the 380 milliamp packs, I wasn't hurting for runtime at all. I think one pack got me almost an hour and a half, and then the other pack I just didn't even run out. I got out of the trail by the time I was done. So the runtime on this thing is great, and that is due to partially the size and the weight of this right here. The 2-speed on it is great to have. The high gear though is like, it's very fast for how small it is. It's fast enough to get away from me walking at like a very good pace. But that speed, you know, if you hit like a little rock or a kind of a disagreeable route or something like that, it would send this guy rolling. But yeah, overall, really good, really fun, nice scale appearance. I really like it a lot, honestly. I think it's probably one of the more fun rigs that I have. So yeah, I think I want to spend some time with this and try to see if I can squeeze out a little bit more performance. There isn't a whole lot of upgrades out for this guy right now, but I do have some ideas of ways that I can make this just a little bit better and maybe more stable. Stay tuned for that. I do think that the performance could be improved with just a few little tweaks, and I'm gonna experiment with this guy through the week and see how I get it. But yeah, overall, awesome little rig. I like it a lot. It's definitely for somebody who is more interested in like the scale trail kind of thing. Not gonna be the best rock crawler at all. I probably wouldn't consider this a good first. I think this would be good in addition. So if you wanted to like challenge yourself a little bit more while you're out in the world, then you could bring this one. Anyway, if you like this video, you should give me a like. If you like this type of content, you should subscribe. I've got videos coming out like this most weeks. I try for every week, but sometimes, you know, things get in the way. And yeah, I think that's a video, so we'll catch you on the next one.